Hey guys, Miss Traveria here, joined by Chickpea. Today I'll be walking you through Bio Week 3 Asynchronous Lesson 2, so Lesson 3.2. This is due Friday the 4th by 11:59 p.m. If you need help, as always, contact me or Mrs. Hernandez. Today's agenda has 5 parts, but they're all pretty quick. So you're already on part 1, great job. Part 2 is to engage by thinking about what you already know about climate change. Part 3 is to either read or watch to learn about bumblebees. Part 4 is to explain by writing a draft, claim, evidence, response paragraph. And then Part 5, as always, is a reflection. When you finish, please don't forget to click Turn In on Google Classroom. Okay, great job already watching the overview video. The weekly learning objective is the same, to be able to analyze data and explain how climate, carrying capacity, natural resources, and limiting factors affect the interdependence of ecosystems. Step 2 is to engage. So in step 3, you are going to learn about how temperature and climate can be a limiting factor for bees. Before you do that, think about and respond to the questions below. The first one is, what do you think climate change is? If you don't know, set a timer for 3 minutes and do a quick Google search and write down anything that you find. What do you think climate change is? There's no right or wrong answer. How do you think changes in temperature and precipitation patterns? So precipitation patterns means things like rain, snow, hail. So basically any part of the water cycle where water is falling might affect living things. And then write down a few facts or things that you know about bees. So anything you might know about bees, go ahead and write down here. So again, this is really just for you guys to start thinking about these topics. There isn't really any right or wrong answers to these questions. The next section is really important because it's going to form the basis for this week's formative assessment, which is another CER. So you will choose in this section if you want to either read a short article or watch this video to learn about how climate change is affecting bee populations. If you decide to read, you are going to highlight reasons for why bee populations are declining. You are going to underline any important numbers or statistics, and then put a star next to any limiting factors you think might affect the bee population. If you decide to read, all you have to do is scroll down and the article begins here. If you decide to watch the video instead, you're going to click on this picture, click on the link, and it will take you into YouTube. Once you get here, you can start watching the video. It's about 4 minutes long. Once you finish watching the entire video, you are going to go back to the lesson, click on this bookmark, which will take you down to this question. So regardless of whether you read the article or you watch the video, you're going to answer this question before moving on to the next step. Write a brief one-sentence summary of either the article or the video below. So this article or video says that, and then fill in the blanks. What does the video or article talk about? What do you think is most important? So regardless of whether you read or you watch a video, make sure you complete this part before moving on to your break. Once you finish up your break, you'll move on to step 4, which is to explain. In this section, you're going to be creating a draft version of the formative assessment that you will be submitting in 3.3. So the directions are to answer this question using the CER format, and that will become your draft for the formative assessment. So the question is, how have bee populations changed in recent years? What limiting factors have contributed to this change? So first you're going to write your claim. In recent years, bee populations have, and then you are going to finish the sentence by describing how bee populations have changed in recent years. Then you are going to say, some limiting factors that have contributed to this change are, and you are going to list some of those factors. So here your claim will have 2 different parts so that you can answer both of the questions in this section. Next, you are going to fill in 3 pieces of evidence that supports your claims. So remember that strong evidence can include things like direct quotations, either from the article or from the video. If you include a quote, make sure that you include who it is from and what your source is. This can also include numbers or statistics, facts, research, or more. So choose 3 pieces of strong evidence that support your claims and include them in these 3 boxes. You're going to expand on what we did last week, and in this week we're also going to ask you to include a reasoning statement. So in the reasoning statement, you'll explain how your evidence directly supports and connects to the claim you made. It's not necessarily something that we can provide a universal sentence stem for, but just try to show your best, or try to do your best to show how your evidence supports or justifies your claim, and include that here. Remember that even though this is a draft version of your formative assessment, please try your hardest to actually put in good effort, because the more effort you put into this one, the easier it will be to complete your formative assessment for the week. Once you finish and edit that section, make sure you've done all of the following. You watched this video, brainstormed what you knew about climate change and bees in step number 2, either read the article or watched the YouTube video to learn about bees, and then wrote your draft CER in step 4. Then, as always, you will respond by giving us feedback on the lesson. Let us know if you struggled, and you can click here to contact me or Mrs. Hernandez. When you're finished, as always, don't forget to click Turn In. Let us know if you have any questions. Otherwise, see you in class.